Hi everybody, I'm Steve and you're watching Hull and Ash. Let's go inside the shop and build something today. Hi everybody. Today I'm joined by my grandson Aiden. Aiden helps me out in my business during the summer months when he's not in school. I'm a residential builder and I do construction work. And Aiden thinks he might want to be a builder someday, right? Mm-hmm. You like that? Mm-hmm. Like breaking boards up and hammering nails? And well, it's a start. Today, Aiden is going to help me get started on my 150 subscriber giveaway, which is what, Aiden?
A cutting board.
Yep, we're going to make a cutting board. And the way that I make a cutting board is I start out with a pile of lumber that you see in front of me, and I'm going to cut it down in the sizes that are manageable to make this cutting board. The process is I've got to cut these pieces down first, and then I've got to feed them through the planer and get them smooth. Then it will be glued up and then put through the planer again so that it's the final stage where it's all smooth, and then put a coating of block oil on it and then give it away to some lucky winner. What do you think, Aiden? Should we get started? Mm-hmm. All right, folks, well, I'm going to start on the cutting process. So the first step is to make them all, I'm going to cut these down to 20 inches. I put a stopping block here, and I'm going to feed the material from that end down here, stop at that stopping block, cut it, and then continue to make the pieces 20 inches long. The reason for that is that I am eventually going to end up with, I think, 16 inches. So we're going to start cutting all of that material that you just seen into manageable sizes. Aiden's going to hand the stuff to me, and we're going to start cutting. Okay, Aiden, let's give it a go. So I put the board right up against that stopping block, and this is the length of the cutting board that we're going to make. And each time I get one cut, I just slide this board down and cut another one. So that's the first process. Hey everybody, I'm joined by my granddaughter Ava. She's been sick and she came out for a quick visit to visit Papa, and she's going to have to go back up to the house. I've been wanting to put her in one of these videos and she always says, no, I don't want to. But we got her in this one this time. You're going to do another one later, aren't you, honey? Mm-hmm. Yep. All right. We're going to go on to the next step, which is cutting all of that material to width. So I'm going to have the grandkids step away so there's no chance of anything flying at them out of the table saw. The next step involved is to make all these boards of a similar width. And I've set my fence up at 2 1/4 inches. I'm obviously going to be less than that by the time I run it through the planer and get everything sized the same. During this process, I'll run these boards, each board, through the table saw, and as you can see, this piece right here has got a nasty knot. Well, we don't want to include that, obviously, so we're going to start on the other side of the board and start taking off pieces that are 2 1/4 inches in this case, and get rid of that waste stock. So I'm going to start ripping everything down. I have a Delta Unisaw. It's probably built, I did a check one time, I think it was built like in the 40s. It's a wonderful table saw. I'm loving this saw. I had a cheaper one years ago, and this one here came for sale. I bought it. I love it. So we're going to get started. Always remember, safety first. Put them safety glasses on, and here we go. One thing I want to mention is in the workshop, always work safely. Safety glasses, hearing protection. If you notice on my hoodie, I don't have that cord that hangs down. That could get caught in a saw blade. I'm always aware of what could happen because in the past I've had a few accidents. And you always want to think what could happen so you avoid that. I use a push stick when things get closer than, this was 2 1/4 inches. I feel very confident that that's far enough away that I won't get my finger caught in it. But if it were closer, then I would use a push stick to feed that through. And like I said before, I don't want the grandkids in front of the table saw blade. Something could whip up, shoot it through to them. I've seen that happen. I've never had it happen, but I've seen that happen. So always, if you're going to do anything in a woodworking shop, work safely, please. As you can see, I've ran all of those pieces through the table saw, and I have cut them to 2 1/4 inches in width. I've kind of put them here together to see what my layout is going to look like. I've got maple on the outside, followed by cherry, ash, cherry, walnut, and cherry in the middle. The next step is to run them through the planer, because you've got to have a smooth edge for all this to be glued to. And even though this may look smooth, it needs to be smoother. So I run everything through the planer, and then I will glue it, put clamps on it, clamp it together, and then run it through the planer again going this way. And that will make everything exactly the same height. And but you can see the bird's eye maple. I'll bring a piece up. It's highly figured. It should look really good on the outside of this cutting board. I'm going to guess my final dimensions are going to be somewhere around 12 by 16, which that should be a good size cutting board. So with that, folks, that's all I'm going to do today. My grandkids are here. I'm going to go up and visit with them, and then tomorrow we'll start on the planing process. Things are about to get really loud here in just a minute. This is my planer, and I will be putting the pieces that I cut yesterday through this planer to make them nice and smooth so that I have a good glue joint. So plug your ears. I'm going to put on some hearing protection. Okay, here we go. Loud enough for you? Each one of these has now been run through the planer, and makes it very smooth on the sides, which will ensure a good glue joint that won't fail. So the next step is I will glue these all together in a layout that I like. I've added a couple more pieces of walnut that I found, so I may put a little bit more walnut in this piece. Glue it together, clamp it up, and let it set for a day. Okay folks, what we're doing today is the glue up procedure, and I like to use Titebond 3 Ultimate wood glue for this. It's a waterproof exterior interior glue. Undoubtedly whoever wins this is going to want to wash it from time to time, so let's put a good waterproof glue. As you can see, I've already done some. The process is you just lay it down, make sure they're clean and dry. Lay it down on its side, put a lot of glue on it. Don't go skimpy on the glue here. We don't want any of these glue joints to fail. And then I just spread it on with a brush, good and thick. Coat the whole thing real well. And then put it next to the one you just did, like that. And when we get them all done, we're going to clamp them up. They have got to set for 24 hours. They don't need to be stressed. The joints need to be just left alone. Don't stress them for 24 hours. Then we'll put it through the planer, and we're getting close to the tail end of this project. Thanks for following along.
The gluing up process is now completed. As you can see, there's a lot of clamps involved. Make sure if you get into woodworking, you take out a second mortgage for clamps. We've got plenty of glue squeezed out between every joint, and as you can see, there's none here on this joint, nor is there any here. And the reason for that is I just put those two outside blocks in to protect the bird's eye maple during the clamp up process. So 24 hours, we gotta let this sit and wait, and then we're going to feed it through the planer the last time, cut the ends off, give it a final sanding, and it's done, ready to give away. It's been in the clamps for 24 hours. We're going to remove it now and then put it through the planer. This next step is going to be multiple passes through the planing machine. I need to plane both sides of the cutting board down so that both sides are the same thickness, same smoothness, same uniform, everything all the way through. It's going to get noisy again, but this is the last time through the planer. As you can see now, it's all planed on both sides. Final step is to cut these jagged edges off. I guess that's the best way to cut these jagged edges off. Give it a sanding. Somebody's going to win it. We have a finished cutting board. Got to do a little sanding, put some oil on it, and it's done. We're down to the last step, and that is sanding and putting oil on. At this time, I want to thank you all for following along this far into the video, because this is where I'm going to tell you what you need to do to win this. I've decided that I want to give this away for Christmas. I don't care if I've got 150 subscribers or whatever by then. It doesn't matter. I want to give this away for a Christmas present to somebody. So in the comment section of this video, if you want to be in the contest to win this, write anything. I don't care. Put your name, put my name, whatever. Merry Christmas, I don't care. Something in the comment section that tells me that you want to be entered into the contest. And then what I'm going to do on Christmas Eve, I'm going to, at that point, write all the names down that have entered into this contest by giving me a comment, and I'm going to put those names, write them on a piece of paper, put those names into a hat or a coffee can or something, and have my granddaughter pick out one name. I will video that when she draws out that one name and I announce the winner, and there will be an email address in that video that you will email me your mailing address, and then I will get it shipped out to you. Folks, thanks a lot for following along. I've got just a little bit more to do. I'm not going to bore you with it. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a very Merry Christmas. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, folks, and you too will be hauling ash.